Yes, I'm still here. Hard to believe. I'm still not dead yet. Hey, guess who? Guess who just happened to show up? Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy. What are you doing, Mr. Happy? He's getting heavier every day, I swear. Not to mention, look at this fur. He's a shaggy mess. Well, with this radio, it's 1939 Motorola, is basically just giving me fits here. I keep going in and changing one thing, and then I notice another thing that's wrong, and then I went ahead and I took the old volume control and switch out to see if I can figure out why that one was arcing. You can see through the phenolic cover on the bottom. You can see it arc when you try to turn a switch on. So I couldn't use that. That's why I had to buy a new one. So what have I done? I've taken it apart. I took the whole thing apart, and well, I'll show you. I gotta get this dog off me anywhere. It's too hot. It was like it's like 97 outside. I went outside when it was 87 and mowed my backyard. And now that it's 97, I just went out and trimmed the backyard and the front yard. So, yeah, talk about the wrong times to go out there. Wow, it's just too hot out there. Although our humidity is about 19% rather than, well, it normally actually is only like 7 to 12% for our humidity out here, but it's been creeping up a little bit at a time. But we haven't had any rain here for a couple of weeks. And even that rainstorm was only like a little over a day, and it dropped down a little bit of rain, but not that much. It was mostly more lightning than anything else. And we get some really great lightning storms here, I want to tell you. We're at 5,200 feet, so normally that's what our elevation is here. So it's kind of weird. So anyway, let me get my chair out of the way. While Chubby goes and lays down on the bed, like he's really tired. Let's tilt down. There we go. And then we'll bring this up. And okay, so I took the switch apart, right? So basically I had to take these switches apart. There's a bunch of little tabs. So you got to take all little tabs off all the way around. So it's on the case right there. And you see there's all these little tabs you got to take off. You got to pop them out so you try to get them straight. If you don't get them perfectly straight, it's not going to come apart. Well, also, there's actually this, a little phenolic ring that goes around there. Actually, it's one that covers around this switch, actually, when you put it in. So anyhow, so this has a little swipers on it for the potentiometer inside, or the volume control. So that's what this is. So I can get in there, and I just flooded that thing with alcohol and cleaned it out, and you can see where it touches right there, where that little piece of metal dips down. That's what makes contact all the way around. And then switch, that's the switch right there, and it actually works. Let's see if I can, because there's a little spring in there. If you notice, there's a that little spring right there. So if you go back and forth, it actually does work. You can hear it. And what that's doing is that's moving that little spring back and forth. And that's your switch. Well, apparently, and I still don't know how it did it, but this covered part right here, it might have carbon tracking underneath it, because what was arcing, I could see through the back of the switch because the 117 AC goes through this part of the switch. So when I turned it on, it was just arcing like crazy underneath here. So somehow underneath all this stuff here, underneath this plate, well, it's actually a phenolac thing. It probably has some carbon buildup or something. So I'm going to have to soak this. In fact, I was thinking what I'm going to do is probably use my, well, let's see. Yeah, I think I can use my little sonic separator over there and see if I can get that cleaned up. I'm going to see if I can put some warm water in it. I mean, it's not like I haven't replaced it already. I did. I've got the other one inside the radio. So I'll show you what that one looks like. Whoop. And getting caught on cords here. All right. And all right. So there, right there, that's the new one I put in. Now I can also put this on. Yep, too much light. Get that out of the way. All right, so that's the new one. So I got that all wired up, and that does work. But as if I didn't have enough problems, I found another problem. When I looked at the speaker, I said the outside of the speaker looks fine, the cone looks fine on the outside, but then, oh my God, I flipped it over, and I never noticed this before. You see that? It's not supposed to look like that. There's not supposed to be a big gaping hole in there. It's supposed to look like that in the center. It doesn't. So even though the cone itself and everything looks good, I don't think the speaker is going to work too well. So I may have to replace it with my other speaker. And I think this other one I have is just about the, yep, perfect size. Exactly the same size. So I may have to replace it. So anyway, so that was the other thing I have to do on top of everything else. And I still, the other thing was the electrolytic has got to be replaced. So where is that, you say? Well, it's right next to that switch. If you look right there, no, let's see, is that the switch? Yep, that's it right there, right next to that switch. See that guy right there? Well, there it is. I have to go in there and I'm going to cut every single one of these off, because when I went ahead and wired this new switch in, I turned it on, the lights went on, and I got really no hum or anything, but this got really hot. So I know this electrolytic, at least one part or most of it is shorted. And that's the only reason why it's overheating like that. So it shouldn't be that hot. So anyway, I was going to replace it anyhow. So I'm just going to cut all these terminals off. So it's disconnected. It's got a nice little terminal strip right alongside here. I probably may end up using that. In fact, I have used it already in a couple of spots. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. And I just wanted to let you know I'm still alive. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now.